The war on Ukraine. Do you know the facts? On February 24, 2022, the Russian Federation launched a full-fledged war on Ukraine. This attack is the next and hopefully the final stage of an aggressive course that first showed its colors in 2014. It also represents a continuation, more focused this time, of the same revanchist ideology that drove the earlier incidents. An aging President Putin and his entourage are hurrying to revise the post-Cold War international order and reconfigure Russia's place in it. They want Russia, or rather an enlarged union state, to be among the weightiest states geopolitically, yet their every step since 2013 has led to further isolation and a declining influence on the international scene. Russia is no longer a G8 member. Its impact is waning in the post-Soviet space, and Central and Eastern European countries are receiving a growing number of NATO forces. Despite getting results opposite its goals, the Kremlin continues adding to its snowballing mistakes and violations of international norms. Blindly pursuing its aims, Putin's regime has moved from the hybrid warfare it has waged against Ukraine in particular in 2014 to 2021 to bad old ground warfare against its western neighbor starting February 24, 2022. Conflict in Ukraine. Since Russia launched a full-scale military invasion into Ukraine on February 24, 2022, fighting has caused over 200 civilian deaths and pushed millions of Ukrainians to flee to neighboring countries, the majority of whom have arrived in Poland, a NATO country where U.S. troops are preparing to offer assistance to refugees. In October 2021, Russia began moving troops and military equipment near its border with Ukraine, reigniting concerns over a potential invasion. Commercial satellite imagery, social media posts, and publicly released intelligence from November and December 2021 showed armor, missiles, and other heavy weaponry moving toward Ukraine with no official explanation. By December, more than 100,000 Russian troops were in place near the Russia-Ukraine border, and U.S. intelligence officials warned that Russia may be planning an invasion for early 2022. In mid-December 2021, Russia's foreign ministry issued a set of demands calling for the United States and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, to cease any military activity in Eastern Europe and Central Asia, to commit against further NATO expansion toward Russia, and to prevent Ukraine from joining NATO in the future. The United States and other NATO allies rejected these demands and warned Russia they would impose severe economic sanctions if Russia invaded Ukraine. The United States sent additional military assistance to Ukraine, including ammunition, small arms, and other defensive weaponry. In early February 2022, U.S. President Joe Biden ordered around 3,000 U.S. troops to deploy to Poland and Romania, NATO countries that border Ukraine, to counter Russian troops stationed near its border with Ukraine and reassure NATO allies. Satellite imagery showed the largest deployment of Russian troops to its border with Belarus since the end of the Cold War. Negotiations between the United States, Russia, and European powers, including France and Germany, did not result in a resolution. While Russia released a statement claiming to draw down a certain number of troops, reports emerged of an increasing Russian troop presence at the border with Ukraine. The Russian invasion of Ukraine was widely condemned internationally. The United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution that condemned it and demanded a full withdrawal. The International Court of Justice ordered Russia to suspend military operations, and the Council of Europe expelled Russia. Many countries imposed new sanctions, which have led to economic consequences for Russia and the world economy. Various countries gave humanitarian military aid to Ukraine. Protests occurred around the world. Those in Russia have been met with mass arrests and increased media censorship, including banning the terms war and invasion. Some companies withdrew their products and services from sale in Russia and Belarus. The invasion of Ukraine was appraised by many international jurists as a violation of the UN Charter and constituted a crime of aggression according to international criminal law, raising the possibility that the crime of aggression could be prosecuted under universal jurisdiction. The invasion also violated the Rome Statute, which prohibits, quote, the invasion or attack by armed forces of a state of the territory of another state, or any military occupation, however temporary, resulting from such an invasion or attack, or any annexation by the use of force of the territory of another state or part thereof. Ukraine had not ratified the Rome Statute, and Russia withdrew its signature from it in 2016. The military campaign was not prepared for an operation of any duration. Already on the third day of fighting, there were signs of personnel shortages among the assaulting troops, who cannot get control of the besieged but resisting Ukrainian cities. The Russian population was not mobilized to support this war, and the anti-war movement in Russia is growing. The Western sanctions are set to destroy Russia's economy at large and the economic security of households in particular. Nor are Russia's Asian partners its allies. They may feel no solidarity with the Ukrainians experiencing tragedy, but they also don't care to risk getting into a conflict with the West. Putin's geopolitical adventurism may speak to some Asian leaders' hidden hopes, but they keep those hopes close. Putin's Russia is alone in its war against Ukraine and its conflict with the West. Understanding his failure, Vladimir Putin has had recourse to the Ultima ratio, the last hope of terrified dictators, the threat of deploying nuclear weapons. Yet just as before, his means led away from the desired end. They just hastened the end of his rule, which most probably will come about as a result not of external, but of internal forces awakened by the autocrat's mistake. What do Ukrainians want? Russia's aggression in recent years has galvanized public support for Ukraine's Western leanings. In the wake of Euromaidan, the country elected billionaire businessman Petro Poroshenko, a staunch proponent of the EU and NATO integration, as president. In 2019, Poroshenko was defeated by Volodymyr Zelensky, an actor and comedian who campaigned on a platform of anti-corruption, economic renewal, and peace in the Donbass. Zelensky's victory as a political outsider was viewed as a strong indicator of the public's deep dissatisfaction with the political establishment and its halting battle against endemic corruption and an oligarchic economy. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to give a like, subscribe to our channel, and comment down below.